Hello friends, my name is Behroz and welcome to the channel where I share with you tips, tricks that I read, learn and apply on myself in order to become my best version. In this video, I will talk about ways in which you can go about determining what skills or strengths are required for a particular role or for a particular organization that you're applying for. The reason this information is vital ahead of applying for the role is twofold. First, for you to make sure that you can read into the role and see if you possess all of the skills that are required by that role or that organization that you are applying in. Second is for you to prepare for the interview and for the hiring process overall, such that during the hiring process or during the interview itself, you can highlight those particular skills and reassure the hiring manager or the interviewer that you possess those skills and hence you are the best candidate for that particular role or job. So here are those tips. One of the most easiest and most important way is to go in detail through the job descriptions. And in the job description, there would be certain words or certain adjectives that would be used or highlighted repeatedly, which will give you an indication that this is what the role or the organization is looking for. So for instance, if it's a people leader role, they would talk more about leadership, managing a team, training a team, building capability, building capacity, things like that. If it's an analytical role, they will talk about analytical skills. If it's a data analyst or data scientist role, again, they would talk about data management and analytics. If it's a marketing role, they may be inquiring about being innovative. If it's a sales role, they would be expecting you to be more commercially savvy, and so on and so forth. So go through the job description a couple of times, take a highlighter and mark all these adjectives that you see and find there, and make sure when you talk about your strength, you address the ones which are most highlighted in the job description or are the most important as per the job description. Second way is, if possible, and if you can reach out to someone in the organization who is currently doing this role or has recently moved away from this role or was doing this role in past, just look them up on LinkedIn, try to connect with them and understand from them what are the skill set that they possessed or that this position requires. I think this would serve better than the job description, because job description has a lot of wishy-washy words in it as well. But if you talk to someone who's doing this role or has previously done this role, they can specifically tell you what are the kind of skill set that they possessed or that this particular role requires. Another thing you can do, maybe not as accurate as talking to someone who did this role previously or is currently in the role, but someone who is in the company and who can either talk around and check for you as to what is required for this particular role, or otherwise just have an understanding of what kind of culture persists and exists in the company and what would be the demands for this particular role, and maybe they can share some highlights and share some ideas with you in that regard. If you are not able to reach out that particular person or you don't feel like reaching out to the particular person, what you can do is just search for the person who's currently in the role on LinkedIn and try to see what kind of strengths they've called out in their LinkedIn profile. And that would be an indication as to what kind of strength is demanded by that particular role. Another way is when you have your first interview, usually a phone interview with the HR who's just trying to arrange the interviews for you, or who's just trying to assess your availability or trying to assess what kind of salary range you would be asking. So very prelim kind of an interview where you're not actually being judged on your skills. That is the time where you can ask that HR person to tell you what are the skills that this job requires. You can be blunt and clearly ask these questions as to what are you guys looking for, what are the skills required to succeed in this role, and maybe he can give you some flavor of what kind of strengths they are looking for. Lastly, my favorite, if nothing works, just Google it. Google it and something will come out. There are a lot of websites which talk about what kind of skills are required for different kind of roles. So for instance, skills required for financial analysts, skills required for a CFO, skills required for a data scientist. And there would be a couple of strengths or typical strengths or typical skills that will come up on the web. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully after this video, you will be better prepared to ace the hiring process and ace your interviews. Thank you.